trying to, just trying to stay cool and, it's too hot.
The heat is so oppressive that, it's very difficult to be outside.
Well, the way that I survive is I come out, I panhandle. The reason why I panhandle is because I had a job, got laid off, and various things that's involved.
At noon in Las Vegas, you don't need a weather forecast. You can hear it. Asphalt crackles under tires. The air is so dry that your throat burns after just a few sentences. The heat here isn't the uncomfortable kind. It erodes you slowly. You drink a little too late, walk a little too far. Then your thoughts begin to drift, and you don't even notice. I'm making this episode because viewers of the channel were right. Summer is what swallows people quietly. In this episode, I'm not complaining about the sun. I'm going straight into how to live through it, where to get water and how to drink it without cramping. Which shaded spots can you enter and which ones get you kicked out? How to cool down fast when your body starts slipping out of rhythm. And sleep, because one overheated, sleepless night can pull you into bad decisions the next day. There are no miracle hacks, just small choices that keep you alert, keep you moving, keep you alive until tomorrow. If you want the homeless fact to continue city-by-city survival episodes like this, please like and subscribe, and leave a comment. Where are you right now, and what got you through your hottest day? Water isn't just for drinking, it's a strategy. In Las Vegas, you can see dehydration on people's faces. Cracked lips, tight skin, shirts soaked in sweat that dry within minutes, leaving white salt streaks along the collar and underarms. Bus stops offer shade, but not water. Many people learn this the hard way. Waiting until you're thirsty is already too late. The first rule is simple. Drink early, drink consistently, take small sips. Dark urine is your body raising a red flag. And once you're drinking properly, the question shifts from, do I have water, to do I have enough salt? Sweating all day and drinking only plain water can lead to cramps, dizziness, and a racing heart. People on the street replace electrolytes the cheapest way they can. Powder packets, dissolvable tablets, small portions of salty food spaced throughout the day. No one here is dieting when the temperature is draining fluid from their body. But replacing electrolytes while standing in direct sun is like pouring water into a leaking bucket, which leads to the next necessity, shade. And shade has to be somewhere you're allowed to stay. Shade has to be legal. At midday in Vegas, shade isn't comfort, it's clarity. It keeps you conscious. Bus shelters have roofs, but heat still rises from the asphalt. Stand too long and your head feels light. Your eyes sting like they're full of sand. Many shaded spots come with a quiet warning. Don't sit too long. Don't lie down. Don't gather in groups. So the problem quickly shifts from find shade to find shade without being removed. Libraries are often the safest option, but they operate on set hours, and you're expected to stay quiet while your body is begging for water. Casinos have air conditioning and constant foot traffic. A tired face doesn't stand out. You sit down, breathe slowly, let the sweat stop. In malls, security makes rounds. In hospitals, waiting rooms are places where people sit temporarily. Some cities open cooling centers during heat waves, but you have to know the address and hours before you're too foggy to get there. Once you've found a cool space, the next step is figuring out how to carry some of that cool back outside using methods that are simple, fast, and discreet. Cool the points, not the whole body. There's a very real moment in extreme heat when you start doing small, foolish things. Standing in the sun because it's just one more minute. Walking another block because you're almost there. That's when your core temperature is already rising and your brain is slowing down. People living outside don't try to cool their entire body. They cover specific points: the neck, armpits, groin, and behind the knees. These areas have blood vessels close to the surface. Lowering the temperature there works much faster than soaking your shirt and continuing to bake under the sun. In Vegas, the dry air makes a damp cloth and a little airflow surprisingly effective. Place it on your neck, sit near a building's doorway, and within minutes, your heart rate eases. But they also know the limits. Soaking your clothes isn't always wise. Step into strong air conditioning while wet, and your body can start shivering, draining more energy. Everything is balanced. Another small tactic: cool your hands and wrists when you find water. It won't save you instantly, but it pulls you back from that drifting, foggy feeling. And once you know how to cool down quickly for a few minutes, the next question becomes, where is the most dangerous place in extreme heat? Not outside, inside a car. Walking in the heat, keeping your mind from slipping. Walking in Vegas heat isn't like walking elsewhere. You hear sandals scraping against dry pavement and feel heat pushing upward from the ground. Each step raises your heart rate a little more. The danger isn't just exhaustion. Heat makes you make poor decisions quietly. Experienced people break their route into cooling checkpoints, a convenience store to buy water and stand in cold air for a few minutes, a casino to sit and let breathing slow, a library to truly lower body temperature. They don't try to be heroes by walking long distances at noon. They move short, rest short, repeat. It sounds slow, but it's how you don't collapse at the final stretch. They also watch for warning signs: shivering despite the heat, skin is hot but barely sweating, a hollow feeling in the head, slower speech, irritability without cause. When those signs appear, they don't negotiate. They find shade immediately, even if plans change. Another small detail: cover the back of your neck and your ears. Even a thin cloth reduces the feeling of direct burn and helps you stay alert. And once movement is controlled, the next step is making sure food and daily habits don't add more heat to the body. Eating and living without adding more heat. Heat makes you crave two things: sugar and salt. Both are cheap, easy to find, and easy to misuse. A cold soda feels satisfying at first. Minutes later, your mouth dries out again, your heart beats faster, and your head feels heavier. Caffeine and sugar spike your system, then drop it while you're already dehydrated. People living outside often eat in small portions throughout the day, not because they're disciplined, but because a heavy midday meal makes your body heat up like you've thrown more fuel into a furnace. They prioritize foods with water when possible: fruit, soup, softer foods. Those provide energy while easing thirst. Food storage is another issue. In extreme heat, spoilage happens fast. You can smell it immediately. Many avoid processed meats left out too long, mayonnaise and dairy without ice. If they have a cooler, frozen water bottles become the cheapest ice packs, keeping food cool and turning into drinking water once melted. And once eating habits stop making things worse, the next overlooked factor is sleep. Because losing sleep in the heat often leads to dangerous mistakes the next day. When the body starts to slip out of rhythm. In extreme heat, the danger isn't sweating. The danger is when you stop sweating but still feel intensely hot. Some people think, "I've dried off, maybe I'm better." But that can mean your body is losing its ability to cool itself. There are subtle warning signs outsiders miss. You speak more slowly. You get irritable without reason. You stand up and the world trembles slightly, like a camera out of focus. You hold a water bottle but forget to drink. You get disoriented on a route you know well, as if your mind is fogged over. At that point, the rule is simple. Stop immediately. No bargaining. No, just 5 more minutes. Find real shade. Air conditioning if possible. Cool the neck, armpits, and groin with damp cloths or cool water. Take small sips if you're still alert. If someone becomes confused, slurs words, staggers, or loses consciousness, this is no longer about endurance. It's an emergency. In Vegas, a cooling center or hospital waiting room may be the closest way to pull someone back. And if you're alone, the hardest step is admitting you need help. Heat doesn't reward stubbornness. It just takes time away. Once you've made it through the crisis, the remaining task is preparation, so tomorrow doesn't repeat the same pattern. A cooler route, a reliable water source, and a backup plan in case doors are closed. A survival route, not life hacks. If you make it through a hot day without collapsing, it doesn't mean you're tough. It usually means you accidentally did a few things right. If you want to repeat that tomorrow, you need to turn it into a route. Experienced people always keep 3 anchor points in mind. 1 cool place that opens early, like a library or casino. 1 reliable water source, such as a familiar convenience store, gas station, or public water distribution site during heat waves. And 1 backup location in case everything closes, or you're asked to leave a hospital, a mall, or a community center. Not because they enjoy wandering, because heat forces you to have an exit plan. They also avoid a common mistake, trying to do everything in one trip. No long midday walks just to get it over with. No standing in line under direct sunlight because you don't want to come back later. They wait. They break tasks into smaller pieces. They conserve energy like they conserve money. 1 small but critical detail. Always know how far you are from shade. When your head starts to feel heavy, you're no longer clear enough to just push a little farther. You need to step into cooling while you still can. And once you've mapped your daytime survival, the next challenge is nighttime. Because heat doesn't end when the sun sets, it just changes how it steals your sleep. The night is still hot, and how to sleep without draining yourself further. Vegas cools quickly after sunset, but the heat doesn't disappear. Pavement still radiates warmth. Concrete walls hold stored heat. Even the breeze can feel like someone turned on a distant hairdryer. You expect the night to rescue you. Sometimes it just changes the kind of exhaustion. People sleeping outside choose airflow over aesthetics. The best spot isn't the prettiest, it's where the wind actually moves. A gap between buildings, a lot of cross breeze. The upper level of a parking garage is where air circulates better. They avoid enclosed corners where heat collects. Otherwise, you wake up feeling feverish. If sleeping in a car, cross ventilation matters. Crack 2 opposite windows slightly to create airflow. Window covers provide privacy, but sealing everything tight turns the vehicle into a box. Some use small battery-powered fans not to cool the air, but to keep it moving. Still air suffocates more than hot air. A simple but effective tactic. Cool your body before going to sleep. Stay inside a casino or library for 20 extra minutes. Let your skin temperature drop before returning outside. You don't want to carry the entire day's heat into bed. And above all, sleep safely enough to stay alert tomorrow. In extreme heat, Day 2 exhaustion is often more dangerous than Day 1. One minute of preparation before stepping back into the sun. If you only have time to do one thing before leaving a cool space, treat it like checking your keys. Heat makes your mind drift quietly and quickly. Check your water. Not how much you have left, but where you can refill within the next 2 hours. Fix one reliable spot in your mind. A convenience store, a library, and if that one closes, you need a second. Check your salt. An electrolyte packet. A small, salty snack. Something to prevent cramps when sweat pulls minerals out too fast. Keep it in an outer pocket so you're not digging through a bag under direct sunlight. Check your shade. Know the nearest place you can step into and sit without being pushed out immediately. It doesn't have to be comfortable, it just has to be accessible. One place like that can reset your body's rhythm. And if you see someone starting to stagger, don't ask one question and walk away. Guide them into shade. Offer small sips of water. Cool the neck and underarms. If they're confused, call for help. That doesn't make you a hero, it just makes you human. Heat burns and burns slow you down. In Vegas, heat doesn't just make you thirsty. It turns ordinary objects into traps. Car door handles, belt buckles, metal bus stop benches. You reach out by reflex, then pull back because it feels like touching a hot pan. Many people living outside carry a small cloth or thin gloves. Not for warmth, but to grab hot handles, pull zippers, lift bottle caps, adjust sunshades. A small burn won't kill you, but it slows you down the next day. And heat does not forgive slow movement, especially when you're walking at midday to find water. Feet take damage too. Sidewalks can get hot enough to soften cheap soles. Damp shoes that dry stiff can cause blisters and cracked skin. Many people change socks during the day not for cleanliness, but to reduce friction and protect skin. A single blister during a heat wave can turn a short walk into torture. So before stepping into the sun, they check two basic things. What can my hands safely grab? What can my feet safely walk in? It sounds simple, but it prevents small injuries from stretching into a dangerous day. A heat survival kit. Small, but it buys time. There's a hard truth about extreme heat. You don't improvise well if you're carrying nothing. You drink too late. You shade yourself poorly. You convince yourself you're fine. By the time you're not fine, your reactions are slower. People living outside often prepare a compact kit, something that fits into a plastic bag. Not impressive, just functional. A thin microfiber towel or lightweight cloth to cool the neck and back of the head. Spray bottle or water bottle to dampen it. An electrolyte packet or a bit of salt paired with food. A piece of cloth for handling hot car doors or metal surfaces. If possible, a hat that covers the neck. Many items come from dollar stores. Some are donated. But the key is keeping them together as a kit, not scattered across different pockets. The most important detail, keep it accessible. Some people bury it deep in a backpack and can't reach it when they're already dizzy. In heat, everything slows down. You need fast, almost automatic movement. This kit won't replace shade or air conditioning. It simply buys time. 5 minutes less disoriented, 10 minutes to reach cooling. And sometimes that time is the difference between exhausted and in danger. Protecting medication, documents, and your phone from heat. Extreme heat doesn't just hit your body. It hits what you carry, and sometimes what you carry decides whether you make it through tomorrow. Medication is the clearest example. Many meds lose effectiveness if they're baked in a trunk or a backpack left in the sun. Inhalers, insulin, heart meds, psychiatric meds. Once they overheat, the risk goes up fast. People living outside often use a cheap insulated bag or wrap meds in a dry cloth and keep them close to the body where temperatures stay more stable. If they can, they ask for ice from a convenience store and replace it as it melts. It's awkward and bulky, but losing medication on a hot day is a disaster. Phones take damage too. Heat makes devices overheat and shut down at the worst possible time when you need to call 211, check a map, or send a message. The simplest rule is, don't leave your phone on the dashboard. Don't charge it in direct sun, and don't keep using it non-stop once it's already hot. A light-colored cloth pouch, kept in shade, is often enough to keep it alive. Documents get ruined quietly. Plastic cards warp. Papers mildew from sweat. Printed text smears. For someone experiencing homelessness, losing documents can mean losing access to jobs, services, and assistance. So many people keep copies in zip bags and separate them from anything damp. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just can't all get cooked in one place. Extreme heat doesn't give you many chances to recover. Keeping your meds, keeping your phone, keeping your paperwork, sometimes that's what keeps the path back to normal from disappearing. Extreme heat doesn't give you the feeling of winning. It only gives you an evening where you're still standing. And sometimes, that's enough. If you're in Vegas, Phoenix, or anywhere the pavement seems to radiate, the goal isn't to be tougher. The goal is to make fewer mistakes. Drink before you're thirsty, replace electrolytes before cramps hit, and get into shade before your mind starts drifting. Small moves, but they're the line between a hard day and a dangerous one. What keeps me from going fully cynical is this. Even on the hottest days, some doors still open. Libraries let you sit. Casinos give you air conditioning without question. Water distribution points, cooling centers, and night shift hospital staff don't solve everything, but they create a few places where you can breathe. And sometimes one place to breathe is what gets you through the night. If you made it this far, leave a comment with the city you're in and the most practical heat survival tip you've actually used. I read them all, and I'll compile them into the next episode, region by region. If this helped, hit like and subscribe so I have a reason to keep making more. May anyone sleeping outside tonight find cold water, real shade, and a morning they can start again. Amen.